a city, you wouldn't have this kind of problem.
Going to one of the travel stops we've already been at, or is this going to be a totally different one?
I don't know. Does this look like the same kind we've been to?
No. Global?
Why are all of them shutting half the pumps down? Even this is why I didn't want to get it at the Petro, because they shut half the damn pumps down for no reason.
Wow, $5.82 a gallon.
Yep, $5.82 a gallon.
Woo.
$5.82 a gallon, and they close off. They've closed off half the pumps here, just the same as over at the Petro, which I don't understand why they would do that. There's nothing wrong with the pumps, and they're just trying to limit how quickly the fuel gets distributed. They're restricting us this way now.
Yeah.
We're already backed up to the street, literally.
I see that. Yeah, this isn't a very large facility.
Well, it doesn't explain why they've closed off half of their fuel pumps. This place, the Petro, and you know, for the last 2 weeks, everywhere I've gone to get fuel, as far as TAs and Petros, every one of them has half of their fuel pumps closed off so you can't use them. Every one.
You think it has to do with that DEF mandate or whatever it is?
Nope.
That was primarily for Flying J and Pilot, right?
That was something completely different. That had to do with that has to do with how much they can be shipped. You know, it has nothing to do with how much they can distribute to their people. This is ridiculous. Thank you, everybody, for jumping right back into this one.
Now it's funny because my wrench is back on. Now I see my wrench. Before I didn't see my wrench.
Yeah, it's probably because of how bad the signal was for you.
Oh.
You weren't able to see those things because of the signal that your cell reception had. And while we're thinking about it, can you do me a favor and put these with the receipts up there, please?
I'm going to send you an invoice for that.
I got your pocket lint right here.
No, I didn't come on this trip to be a little slave chick.
Sure.
Okay, are you going to move while I'm standing up? I need to sit my butt down. I don't want to go
You don't need to
flying.
sit down.
Well,
You're not going to go
flying forward.
You're not going to go flying unless I do that.
I do not want to go through the front windshield and not make it to Portland.
You'll make it to Portland.
I want to make it there alive, uninjured, unscathed, all in one piece.
Well, you got on the right ship for that. Right ship.
Is your ship shape?
No, but I'm sure by the time we get there, you'll have it whipped into shape.
That's how I roll. Just be glad I don't have my OCD issues that I did when I was a college student. Oh.
Right.
I had really bad obsessive compulsive disorder in college.
Well, you know, if you had actually seen it, if I hadn't lost the feed while I was trying to find the place in the first place, you would have seen how ridiculous it was to get in and out of there. And how ridiculous it was to even find it because it's tucked way back behind.
Yep.
It's not even on a street.
No, it was not. I was actually shocked at how tight and narrow the parking lot was. And then when all the trailers were backed up to the building, I don't see how two large semis going in opposite directions could honestly fit through there side by side without hitting or only having like maybe an inch apart, being an inch apart. That's how tight that spot was.
Hey, I don't mind if you have to ditch me for Butch. I don't mind if you have to ditch me for Butch. But I might fight for you just a little bit if you're trying to ditch me for X-Ray. I'll tell you that. I'm just kidding.
We love X-Ray.
We all do.
Yeah, X-Ray's our buddy. I loved it when they gave him that. They honored him in Sacramento, not Sacramento. Remember when they honored him in Hagerstown and gave him that plaque?
Yep.
That was so cool. He was so humble. Wasn't expecting that at all.
Well, they were also in the part and in the parking part, something along those lines as well.
Yeah.
And they never did.
Yeah, well, you never received anything.
Nope. They never gave us anything.
You helped with parking and you helped with security. And
Right.
you rode in the Conway as one of the truck drivers.
Right. I was a very busy man.
Because I have to say...
I didn't have time to spread rumors about people.
Well, I just remember at one point I had to go home and take care of some business. And when I left, the parking up there was like, it was crazy how the trucks were parked. And then when I came back, all the trucks and semis and bobtails were parked like at that angle, which you later told me you were responsible for getting them all situated. Parked at the angle like that. And it looked, number one, it looked so much visually better. And number two, you were able to fit a lot more trucks in the lot, along with the four-wheelers in the back.
Krista says, you know, when there are more than one that we like, we jump back and forth, or we get more screens and get them all going at the same time to show our love.
Yeah.
I can see that, and you know, with the way Microsoft and Apple have gone with their computers and the programming, even on the laptops, you can have multiple different videos from YouTube up at the same time. And, you know, it's just a matter of which one you want to hear. You don't want to be listening to all of them at the same time. Watching them maybe, but not the sound, because then they drown each other out.
And I need to pitch in, and I don't want to ignore the comments that were made by Charlene and others.
Well, look, see, you could have caught a ride with Butch.
Excuse me, you just interrupted me while I was in mid-sentence, and that's impolite.
But it's my live stream.
But I'm your guest, and you're supposed to respect your guest. So they're talking about when you're taking care of someone, if they need you, yes, you drop everything that you're doing and you go and help them.
Right.
So I have the same thing when I'm home taking care of my elderly mother, who's 84. Everything in her eyes is an emergency, and I have to drop everything I'm doing to run to her emergency.
The phone rings and it's an emergency.
Yes.
I know. Now,
children, no fighting, says Krista. We're not fighting.
Yeah, scroll up two more.
Huh?
Scroll up two more to what Jen said.
Jen. Such a great guy. Oh, well. Would have gotten to Portland late. Or
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe Butch would have booked a load out that.
I don't know anybody in the Denver
X-rays
area.
up there.
Oh, they are?
There's a few people up there. Even
Black Wolf. I haven't had two guys fight over me in a while. That could be a great ego booster, girl.
All right, Jen. Challenge accepted.
So who am I going to ride with? Is it going to be Butch or is it going to be Black Wolf? Butch?
No. Oh, she's referencing the fight over who gets to keep Jen
X-ray.
between me and X-ray.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I'm a little slow sometimes.
Look, no matter what, I'm not going to fight X-ray for you. You're going to make your own decision. That's your choice. And you can choose to be in both places at the same time or separately, or, you know, hop back and forth, or just decide only one of them is worth your time. That's yours to choose, not ours.
Right.
But that doesn't mean I won't do everything I can to try to keep you over here. But no, I do love X-Ray very much, and if he needs you over there, he needs you over there too. I'm not going to fight over that.
We can love everyone equally, and we can divide our time between people equally as well. There's no need for competition of any kind.
Honey, I'm an equal opportunity hater. I hate everybody.
And maybe you need to move to some remote island somewhere where there's no one except for you, and you can practice and live out your life with nobody around.
I don't think I have an ounce of hate in me anyway. That was a joke.
You can practice all those survival skills that X-Ray's up there teaching.
You do realize I know almost everything he's teaching.
Yeah, you've mentioned that.
It's something that some of us in certain aspects of the military were trained for. Some of us actually signed up for extra training.
Well, almost everybody that I know that was in the military, you had to learn those skills.
Mm-hmm.
That was mandatory, necessary.
Yup.
Especially if you were, you know, being.
Why do I keep getting that up here? What is that? If I get too close to the screen, find a face.
Because I accidentally clicked something when I was trying to do the.
So you turned something on, and I got to figure out what it was. Off.
I was trying to reverse the screen. And
That was probably what it was. I know you're kidding, Jen. So are we. We're just having a fun morning because we're not really moving yet. This is the life of a truck driver. I mean, we started earlier today, a couple hours ago, and we still haven't even made it out of town yet.
Yeah, we started at 9 a.m. Krista just said that it's a focusing feature. Whatever it was that I touched is a focusing feature.
It was that little happy face thing down on the bottom.
Hello, Callie girl. Welcome to Black Wolf's stream with his guest speaker, or guest, not speaker, I'm not a guest speaker, his guest co-pilot, Rosie Rowe.
Yep, somebody had to hitch a ride.
Hurry up and wait, exactly, the military motto that we all grew up with. Hurry up and wait.
I don't know what I'm waiting for.
Especially on payday. Oh my gosh, the payday lines would be like around the building.
Well, I'm waiting to lose a leg and an arm. How much is that fuel again? $5.90?
Is it 585 or 589?
$5.89, which means it's $5.90. Because it's always $5.89.9 or $5.88.9. They never actually... They should just put it out at a straight dollar amount.
Well, with the way these fuel prices are going, a lot of people in general aren't going to be able to drive around very much anywhere. And it all, especially the truck drivers, it's all going to trickle down to the consumer because prices in the grocery stores are going to skyrocket, or any store for that matter. I've already noticed a huge jump in grocery costs. Yeah, Charlene, I'd rather you tell your childhood history, because that's your story, not mine. But I can share my memories of you. I'd be more than happy to do that.
Well, now...
We did together. Oh, we have to jump.
You can
time to fuel up. How long does it generally take to fuel up your 300-gallon tanks?
not long because I'm only at little under half a tank right now. But you can sit here. While I'm filling up.
Alright. I'm gonna move on over into the driver's seat. Boy, I feel privileged now. Wow, what a privilege. I get to sit in the driver's seat. Pretend like I'm driving this big rig. lot of money for a gallon of gas. So, hello, Cali girl and all. I don't know if everybody knows the story about why I'm with Grey Wolf today. Or, oh my God, I just said the wrong name. Can you believe that? I need to be shot in the head for saying that. Holy moly, Mother Jesus. You guys probably don't know why I'm here with Black Wolf. Black Wolf. I had a Southwest travel voucher that I needed to use up. It was going to expire at the end of the month. And I have my best friend from childhood. I've known her since I was 8, 9, that lives in Portland. And so I was trying to figure out how I could get to Portland. And unfortunately, it was going to be about $1,000 pocket. So I figured I need to use up my Southwest flight. And then I realized that Black Wolf is in Reno. So I said, listen, dude, if I could get a flight to Reno, where are you heading after that? And when he said Portland, I asked could I ride along, and he said sure. So that's what I wound up doing. So I flew from BWI into Reno, and then got a lift over to where Black Wolf was. And so now the plan is we're going to be heading up to Washington State to drop a load today, tomorrow, I'm not sure when. And then from there, head on over to Portland, and then I'm going to wind up going to my friend's house. And then I'll be flying out of Portland to head back to Maryland, which is where I reside with my 84-year-old mom. So that's kind of the plan. So I feel really privileged and honored that my buddy was willing to let me ride with him. And he's been kind and generous since day one when I very first met him in Hagerstown at the Speedway. So that's kind of how I wound up where I'm at, sitting in this truck right now today. No, I am not Rose from 1776. That Rose is someone completely different. There were actually 3 Roses at the Speedway. There was Rose, who is now in tight with Santa, but when I first met Rose in Hagerstown, she actually has long brown hair, and she was working in the donation department and the kitchen area. And as the convoy progressed and we rolled further out, she started gaining more responsibilities with the convoy. And when the People's Convoy movement went defunct, Rose wound up staying with Santa, and they began the 1776 movement. I am not Rose, I am my real name is Rose, but like I said, we had 3 Roses in Hagerstown at one time. So I just kept, instead of saying I'm Rose, because people were always getting confused, I just said, you can call me Rosie Rowe. I'm Rosie Rowe. So like I said, I've had that nickname since I was in college back in the 90s, and that's kind of where I'm at. Let me see, let me go back through the live stream, see if there's any other questions. I do look like a child. I need a booster, and it's so warm in here. His AC is not working very, very well. And not only that, I have on long sweatpants, so I just loaded my gun for you. Who are you loading your gun for, Shirlene? I'm confused. I must have missed something. Smart idea. Are you okay? I answered that question. No, I'm not Rose from 1776. I didn't think, but wasn't sure. No problem. No problem. Shirlene says it was the other organization that she was with. Okay, that looks more comfortable. Yes, Krista, it is more comfortable because I'm up higher. I'm actually sitting on my knees. Even in my own car, I tend to have an extra cushion so that I'm able to sit up a little bit higher because I am short. And I don't stand higher than 5 feet tall. So. Answer them if I feel that they're appropriate or whatever. I'll give you my honest answer. Yeah, I'm not good at live streaming, so I'm new to all of this. And again, this is Black Wolf's channel, not mine. There's a storm coming. We're getting clouds on the horizon. Can only mean one thing. Season. Hey, there's a storm and a tropical storm coming, dude. What? We just got a warning, a tropical storm coming. Yeah, I just saw a message that we have a tropical storm coming, but it didn't really say for what area. It just jumped across the top of his cell phone. So, yes, I know, Charlene. I said the wrong name. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna get murdered for that later. I feel so horrible about that. So we all kind of know the backstory on that. Yeah. Right. I don't know why that even came across my mind. Actually, I kind of do, because there's been some stuff going on lately, and even I recently was, well, I'm not going to say it here, but what?
Move over.
Oh, I have to move over. Time for me to go. You're going to shoot me.
Just scoot.
You're going to shoot me for what I said on the live stream. Ugh.
I don't know what you said on the live stream.
I accidentally called you the wrong wolf name.
Oh. Well. Maybe you can hitchhike from here.
If you want to send me hitchhiking, I totally understand.
All right.
Oh, thank you so much, Jen, for the compliment. I appreciate that. I'm also humbled. I'm humbled.
Now let's pull this puppy forward.
Okay, we are moving again.
Now what you're going to do is you're going to grab your phone and you're going to come in. Because you aren't really probably ever going to see this again.
I'm going to grab my phone and I'm going to come in.
Yep.
Because I'm never going to see this again.
Right.
So
I think, well, I know they remodeled,
what
but
is inside the building that's so fabulous that I'll never see again?
one of the neatest Civil War gun collections you've ever
Ooh.
seen. They're like bolted to the
Yeah.
walls.
Wow.
I don't know if they still have it because I know they remodeled recently in there. So we will see.
Are we going to take Sid for a walk before?
No, we are not taking Sid anywhere.
Okay. He needs to get out of this truck sometime.
He was just out of this truck less than an hour ago.
Okay. Mind your manners, sir. You're speaking to a woman.
Right. There we go.
Guess that needs to grab him. Buying snacks and drinks and stuff.
No, you don't need to buy anything. We don't have much time. We're in the fuel line. We go in to get a receipt, we leave. No. Yes, that is, but you can see that on the way in and on the way out. We're not here. We are in a fuel island. It's a good way to get another trucker to come up here and punch somebody because he wants to leave. I'm educating you slowly. I totally forgot. I took it for granted that you might already know that. Come on. All right. Yay, right? No, seriously, when you're in a fuel island, you get fueled, you pull forward, you go in, you get your receipt, you come out and leave so that the next guy can get out.
That's exactly what I do when I go to fill up my vehicle.
Right,
That's just common courtesy, in my opinion.
right,
But when you were talking about you got to grab your phone and come in here. And
right. I just wanted you to
thought
see
were
this.
parked where you wanted to park.
If they still have
Thank
them.
you so much.
If they still have them. I don't know if they do.
More slot machines.
Well, you can't go anywhere in Nevada without them. Here's the wall. The wall used to be right there. Now it's covered in slot machines.
So it's gonzo.
It's gonzo. Yeah, they never put them back up. They never put them back up.
No, restrooms are which way? Or I can't go right now.
Well, there's a men's. You can go, but you got to be quick.
I'm always
The women's
quick.
is that way. That way, around the corner. I'm gonna get the receipt. All right. Let's see here. Can I flip you? Hey. Nope, y'all are upside down. Need a fuel receipt, please?
Sure, man.
Truck number was 13 and the company is JCNC.
And you want pump 3?
Not sure. Is that the? Yeah,
Yeah,
can I get another copy, please?
Absolutely. There you are.
Thank you very much.
Have a good day.
Yep, you too.
Thank you.
All right. Let's go. Yummy, yummy. Background music is not me. That's just what they're playing inside this place. Okay, we'll sit here and we'll wait for her to come out. This one has a Fuddruckers in it. See?
I'm finished.
You're finished, okay. All right, now we're gonna hit the road.
Excuse me.
Excuse me? Dude literally damn near ran right into me.
Almost ran into me as well.
Because he's not paying attention because he's probably never been here before. He's probably never been to anywhere with casinos. So bright lights, big city.
Whose truck is that with the American flag on the back?
I don't know.
Pretty sweet
American
looking.
flag on the back, you know?
Pretty sweet.
Yeah. I don't go nowhere without it.
Some dude named Black Wolf's driving it.
Yeah.
Never met him. Pretty shredded. I think that one needs to be retired.
Yep. Go ahead. Get up in there. You first.
Are you asking or demanding?
I said go ahead and get up in there, as in I was giving permission.
We sound like an old married couple.
Yeah, we shouldn't.
Hello, Sid Meister. Hello, Sid. Happy we're back. We don't like to be alone.
All right. There.
Thank you, Charlene. I love you so much. Yes, we've been friends for a very, very, very long time. Thank you for the compliments and the kind words that you say about me. And Hallie girl, where are you currently? Where are we currently, Black Wolf?
Reno, Nevada.
Reno, Nevada.
I have to program my GPS real quick, so I'm just gonna kind of ballpark it because we don't have to be there tomorrow sometime. Hey Garmin, find Monroe, Washington.
Which result would you like?
Number 1.
Going to Monroe, Washington.
We're good. All right.
Please drive to highlighted route.
Luckily, I still have some cold ice. It has not melted.
It didn't melt all the way. This guy is, why is he being so slow? I would like to know.
I'm sure the gentleman behind us would like you to go as well.
Uh-huh. on it.
Make it quick.
I got to be really careful coming out of this because of my extra stretch. You see these yellow poles on both sides? They've got it so narrow
But you
that
can
by the time I finish turning and keep my nose off the curb on the other side, I could be dragging the trailer against one of the poles.
Yeah, I was gonna say you can sideswipe it. That's why I say it's amazing how you guys drive these trucks,
Yup.
especially in tight spaces like this.
And you know who put these poles in?
Probably some moron who's never driven a truck.
No, it had nothing to do with the truck stop either. The city came in and did that. The city came in and
Well-
did that. That was them trying to get rid of this truck stop.
Yeah, see, anytime the city or the local government or the federal government comes in, they mess stuff up. They say they work for we the people, but we all know they don't work for we the people. They work for themselves and whatever kickbacks they can get.
Turn left at the traffic light, then take the third right.
So much money that passes hands between all these people in government positions. Oh, let me scratch your back and I'll pay you $1 million, and then you turn around, I'll turn around and scratch your back, and then you pay me X amount. So that's how they get all this stuff done.
Right? Oh, yeah. Thank God I don't have to work outside washing cars like these guys are over here.
I don't see any comments in this stream quit or what.
No, the stream is not quit. Nobody's commented. That's all. We haven't given them anything to comment on. What's your newest idea there, Rosie?
I don't know. I'm getting tired.
Already? We haven't even started the day yet,
I
really.
know, right?
We haven't made it out of town yet.
Turn right on I-80 West.
Here we go. Poor FFE driver can't figure out how to drive properly. Swinging into the other lane to be able to turn. Should never do that. That's how you end up with a car on the inside and then getting crushed by the middle of your trailer because you're in the middle of turning. Because the car thought you were just going to keep on going in the other lane.
Are you able to crack your window a bit, or does that affect the noise of the live stream?
It looks like the noise a little bit, a lot actually, but they can make do. And they're loving them mountains.
Yeah, the mountains are gorgeous around here.
Well, if I can maintain a signal in some of the areas we're going to be in today, there's going to be an awful lot of
In
mountains.
1 3/4 miles, take exit
shooting
15
straight up,
on the right to US 395 North,
go
then
into
keep
Alturas,
right.
California, and then up into Klamath Falls, and then up that way towards Seattle-ish.
Yes, so on the left side we have the mountain range with the snow-capped peaks. And then on the right side, like I said, it's just like the wood, not wood, the dirt, the barren dirt with some greenery and stuff.
Yeah, these are the Sierra Nevadas. Sierra Nevada mountain range. And all them little skyscrapers.
All right, Shirley, okay, Shirley, take care of Mama Shirley. Love you. Thanks for stopping in on the chat. Hopefully you'll be able to come back. Maybe even bring Mama Shirley with you today. So, lots of love to you. We'll see you soon. Have a great day. Later, share.
They cannot hear you from that side. With the window open, they cannot hear you. I can guarantee that.
Take exit 15 on the right to US 395 North, then keep right. lane.
Once we get going for about 10-15 more minutes, maybe less, then there won't be so much noise coming in that window because there won't be too many people trying to pass me because we'll be in single lane. But you know, you can read comments to me and I can answer them if that.
I was just trying to answer a text message.
Right. I was just saying it as a, you know, I'm not right this minute. I'm not asking you to do it. I'm saying you can if you wish to. Because with my sunglasses on,
Hard.
I can't. Like I can see the words, but I can't tell what they are.
For some reason, my live got me around, and I'm trying to catch up to where we are.
Oh, all you gotta do
Continue
is
at US 395.
hit play, and hit the little red line and drag it all the way to the end. It'll catch you up better. But you have your data turned on, right?
I do.
Okay.
Just give me one moment, please.
I cannot believe they took the wall of Civil War guns down. I wonder what they did with all of them.
I don't know, but it probably no longer met their agenda. They're removing our history, remember?
Oh, I remember, but still.
It's like when they took all the statues down. Remember how they vandalized all the statues and we go around taking down all the famous statues?
What did you say? That name? Yeah?
Yeah. I called you that.
A mile and a half that way.
Yeah, I said I'm riding with GW and I meant to say Blackville.
That's BW. B is in boy.
I know. And I have no idea why that came out of my mouth. And I apologized immediately. I said I was going to probably get in trouble.
6 miles. So today is going to be a long day.
Okay, so some of the comments now that I'm caught up. Are you able to hear me?
Yep.
Laura Bristol. Been to Vegas a lot, but never to Reno. How beautiful. Robin being can but not well. I think she was referencing, somebody had asked, can you record when you don't have cell signal and upload later if you want to share the scenery while out of service?
Yes, I can record later on. I mean, I can record when I don't have a signal and then upload it later.
Jen Simpson said Wolf Pubs, make sure you like to subscribe, etc., etc. She also said Black Wolf will be going through Tahoe today.
No, I won't go through Tahoe. Tahoe is behind us. I'm going to go up through Susanville and then over to Alturas and then up through Klamath Falls. And then probably drop across the mountains into Eugene or stay on 97 all the way up into Washington, which puts us going through Redmond and Bend, Oregon, Biggs, Oregon, which there's a Mary Hill Museum up there on the Columbia River, and there's also a miniature Stonehenge museum. It's pretty cool. And if I take that route, I can take Rosie to one of my most favorite places in the world to eat.
Yeah, where's that at?
It is a Greek Orthodox monastery and nunnery.
Very interesting.
Yep, it's up in the middle of the mountains between the Columbia River and Yakima.
Is that where you get your GMOs that you like, or you get different foods?
Different foods, like stuffed grape leaves, grow everything, almost everything they sell there, they make themselves from there, and they grow all their own products.
Mr. Gray said that she wants to see that monastery.
Now let me see if we're going that way according to my GPS.
My ears keep plugging up, so if my voice gets louder, you know why. My payday bar. Hallelujah Junction, 19 miles in Susanville, leaving Florence. What is it famous for? Anything special?
It's basically a recreational area where you can go out and you can go digging and you can find all kinds of gems and minerals.
Well, I know that's something that you really enjoy because you've talked about your hobbies and your pastimes before.
I do enjoy collecting gems, yes. I do enjoy hunting them. I do enjoy making them into something very beautiful out of the raw.
Well, that's like when we were in Casper, Wyoming, remember? I was looking on the ground and I picked up like all these different really beautiful, what I thought were really beautiful rocks, and you were telling me that's rose quartz. And the other one I picked up was like, that's such and such.
Yep.
And I actually kept all those that I picked up. I started a little collection, all my people's Broadway stuff. Like I found a peacock feather, not a peacock feather, a quail feather, different rocks. I found like some really neat petrified wood that was the shape of a cross. What else? Just little things like that, from our travels.
Yep. I love rocks. I love gems. I like making pretty things out of them.
Krista Graves is saying that she also loves things like that. She loves crystals and she would be so into that. And she would love if you could share your crystal creations. She has loved rocks and crystals since she was a little tiny kid. How cool is that?
That is pretty cool.
Yeah, crystals actually have a lot of healing powers, believe it or not.
Yeah, are you sure you're very Christian? Most Christians don't believe in that kind of thing because it's too pagan for them. Trust me. Been the route with that too many times with too many Christians. Just because I have a lot of crystals and I believe in their healing powers, and they're like, no, only God has healing power, blah blah blah. And I'm like, and they start accusing me of being pagan and all kinds of Satanist stuff. I'm not any of that. I am me. Period.
Let's put it this way. I believe that God is the one that created the earth, and He also created everything on this earth. And when He did so, He put everything on this earth that people needed to be able to take care of themselves before man came along and ruined all of that. So I believe in healing. Yes, I do believe in healing powers. I believe in energy. I believe in vibration. And I believe it all comes from God. People have different gods, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yep. See the mountains hard right, as far right as you can get almost. See the hills and mountains
I
there?
do.
Just on the other side of there is where we go out and do a bunch of Q. That's where we go play with the Q.
A pew-pew. I've never heard them called that before.
Well, we're on YouTube. We don't want the video taken down for saying the real word.
Gotcha. Yes, everything gets censored nowadays, unfortunately.
Right.
We have to be so mindful of our speech. Even though we have freedom of speech as an amendment.
Yep.
See how they slowly take your freedom away and then convince other people that it's okay?
Yeah.
Oh, you're no longer allowed to say this word because it is not politically correct.
Right. But the people that the people that word supposedly offends the most are the ones that use it the most, and they're allowed to use it because they are those people. But the second that you are not one of those people and you use that word, oh my God, it's a hate crime.
Yes, yes, yes. And then you're vilified, demonized, attacked.
And that doesn't matter whether you're using that word as just a regular embellishment like they do, or if you're using it as a term of endearment, or if you're using it in a mean and malicious way. No matter how you use it, if you are not from that culture,
Or that clique, or that
or
organization,
whatever they consider themselves,
Yes.
they can use it, you can't. Yeah, that's wrong. What's good for the goose is good for the gander, right? Instead of this, do as I say, not as I do.
I'm sorry, Jen, that you lost your rose quartz. If I was able to give you a piece that I found in Castle, Wyoming, I certainly would. Maybe you can send me your address, or text your address to Black Wolf, and when I get back to Maryland, I'll take a look at some of the pieces that I have, and I might be able to send you a piece of rose quartz, so that you'll have some for your collection again that you can put underneath your pillow. And yes, silly for him, Sylvia. I do believe that also. That everything that was put on this earth was created by
half the whole time
I know, right?
than actually see if there's something that can be done and help.
Somehow my video got paused again, so I'm not seeing any of the recent comments.
You have to do all that again. You have to hit play. Yes, that happens when your signal gets too weak. My signal's really strong right now. It's because you have a completely different cell carrier than I do.
Right. Well, the last thing that I see is Jen said, I need a new rose quartz. Mine fell out of my pillow and I cannot find it. And I mentioned that I did find some rose quartz in Casper, Wyoming. And if I'm able to get her address, I could possibly send a piece of rose quartz to her once I get home.
Right, and right after Jen said that, there's a Lala Sanders that came in and says hello from Florida.
Hello, Lala Sanders. Good to have you in the chat, the live stream. What
Yep.
part of Florida? I love Florida.
Yeah. What part of Florida are you from there, Sanders? And keep in mind there's a huge delay between us videoing this and the comments that when they come in, so
Let's see. Krista Graves, too bad we can't see crystals. I'm sure there probably is some sort of group on Facebook.
there
like
are
that.
groups on Facebook like that. There's plenty. I tried to make one. Matter of fact, day before yesterday, when Jen and I were talking with about some stuff for the channel,
Inverness, she lives in Inverness.
I was looking at making a new one with just my normal name here, the Black Wolf, and it won't let me. It says I have to use my real name. So I tried to put in Billy Jones, and it wouldn't let me. It said I had to use my real name. No matter how I did it, it said I had to use my real name. And I don't want a Facebook with my real name anymore. Not after all of the censorship and garbage threats that I've gotten. It's best that my real name stays out of the public. Business I have, that's still, so if they do alert, if they do need to be
Oh, Chris is saying she's in a lot of those groups.
well, you can start a Telegram group.
And then Jen, we missed Jen's comment. I'll tell someone about my God. The way I live my life and treat others is a reflection of His love. That's how I look at it.
I need you.
And I truly agree with that.
And I'm gonna need this. Welcome to Nazi, California. Where I have to show my papers just to get across the state line.
We're cutting out pretty bad. We're buffering. We're going through a bad zone.
That might have been a minute ago because I've got full signal now. But I literally have to come in here, show them my papers, show them what I'm carrying before they'll let me in. This is thought to not have one too for a minute. Because I just dropped all the way down to the 400s.
I still see your chat.
Yeah, I still see the chat too. Did you try just the blog page?
Now they're back.
Details from Ash, how G has his set up. Because it's just a blog page. Yeah, but in order to do that, you have to have your own personal Facebook still on there, and they won't let me on there with my name, with my real name.
Oh, we're friends. Yeah.
Yeah, no, we're not married. She's just a friend that needed a ride to be able to come and visit another. Get a direct flight without paying well over $1,000.
Near $1,000.
And that's with one of the flights in one of the directions being free because she had a credit. She had a one-way flight credit. But the way she did it, she flew into Reno and I picked her up. I'm taking her up home, and she's, but you know, after all is said and done, she only had to pay like $300 or $400 instead of well over $1,000.
300.
So I'm doing her a favor, picking up this weird hitchhiker girl from Maryland.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, it's the second time you picked me up. You picked me up when I got out of the hospital with pneumonia. I led you back to the convoy in Sacramento.
Yeah, but isn't it surprising that out of everybody in the convoy, I was literally the only person that actually thought about you in
Yes.
that way?
Yes.
That thought about helping you get back to the convoy when you got out of the hospital?
Yes.
Making
That's why
sure
I'm
that you
sending-
were all right?
That's why you and I are such great friends, because out of everybody that I met in the convoy, you seem to be the most concerned and generous and always there and willing to help
Look,
anybody in need.
I'm the kind of guy that'll give away my last shirt right off my back if you need it. But it just surprises me that no one else at the convoy even gave it a second thought.
Yeah, and I even asked some people if they would even come and visit me because it was very lonely in the hospital. And they were afraid to come to the hospital to visit me because they were afraid they would have to wear a mask. They didn't want to wear a mask. They didn't want to, show the vaccination to come in as a visitor. Which I understand that, but they didn't even offer, hey, you need Jesus to come down there and help you out in any way. Nothing like that. And you were even the one that mentioned it at the meeting and were able to get donations raised for me to pay for the antibiotics that were going to be so outrageously expensive.
Yeah, let me interrupt really quick.
Go ahead.
These mountains that you see off to the left that have still got trees, this is the Hallelujah Junction area. That up there where the trees are, up in that area, that's where you go digging for all kinds of minerals and gems.
So we have a lot of people with knives and all of a sudden they're talking about the illegals coming into our country. Because it said here, right and Lala Sanders, what is happening in our country makes no sense. This is written by Laura Bristol. If you're an illegal, you're good to go, but Black has to show papers to get into California. It's unbelievable. And then Lala E. Sanders asked Laura, how do we stop them? They're just running all over us. And that was the last thing written other than MB Wood, the bench saying like, share, subscribe, and thank you.
Yep. It's an agricultural stop. So basically, when I have to show them my papers, I have to show them what is on plant life or any kind from out of state that I'm bringing in. Problem is the trailer, the floor is made of wood. The cabinets in here, the bottoms of the cabinets are made of wood, all that. They don't bother to check any of that. They just want to know what the product is, and they force us all to stop. And, but if you have any of that product that's with you when you come through, they will pull you over to the side and they'll tear the entire load apart, looking for these stupid little bugs in give up. But I'm not carrying anything today that qualifies for them to search it. One of the other reasons I like to drive is going to be the far northeastern side of California that I will cross, and it's one of the only ways that I really like going through California in the first place. Mainly, first of all, there are no scale houses, which means I don't have to deal with the DOT. We're going too fast and he wants to pull me over. You know, there's less traffic on this route by far. It's mostly wilderness.
It's beautiful. It's really beautiful. I love all the shrubbery and trees.
And I don't have to deal with those inner city people that can't even figure out which bathroom to use. Instead, they start using the street in front of everybody.
Realize that they allow that in San Francisco.
Yep.
San Francisco, when I lived in California for 13 years, in Central California, San Francisco used to be one of my favorite cities to go to. When I went there on vacation, it was wretched. It's overrun now by homeless. And yes, they're defecating all over the street. They're urinating all over the street. It's filthy dirty. People are constantly coming up wanting you, begging you for money, begging for this, begging for that.
Well, you know, it gets bad when you're sitting in an outdoor bistro and somebody just decides to pull their pants down right next to your table and take a dump right there while you're eating.
And you want to know what's really sad too? I remember one time we went on vacation in Los Angeles. My mother and my father came to visit from the East Coast. And so my sister, my nephew, my oldest brother, and my parents and I, we all went down to Los Angeles. And we went out to dinner at some restaurant. And it was kind of like an outdoor mall where, it's one big open area for pedestrians only to walk, but it's full of stores and restaurants and this and that. I don't know what you call it here in the States. But in Germany it's called a Fußgängerzone, meaning only those pedestrians are allowed to walk. No vehicles are allowed in that area. And so we went to this fancy restaurant. My dad, when he was on vacation, always liked to go try fine dining, different dining. And when we left, these homeless people around, and we decided we're not going to, we said we cannot give you money, but if you're hungry, we can give you a meal. And we gave them our leftovers, my mom and I. My sister comes running up behind us and she's like, that guy just threw your leftovers in the trash can. So if he was truly homeless and hungry, he would have been grateful for the food, but he opened my sister said he opened the box. My mom's leftovers and mine. And we didn't have like weird food. I mean, I think I had probably some sort of chicken meal, and my mom had pasta with, seafood or whatever in it.
Yep.
They don't really want the food, they want the money. The majority, I'm not going to say all, because there are exceptions to everything, are unfortunately out there. They have addictions, and they're looking for money to supply their addiction.
I guarantee you, when you get up into Portland and you start exploring the city with your friend, you are going to see wall to wall homeless everywhere you can possibly plant a tent or stand with a sign. There will be homeless, and not one of them will accept food donations or anything. The only thing they'll accept is cash.
Right. Well, and that's kind of what I'm saying. That's all they will do. There are some homeless people where I have given them things and they have been extremely, truly appreciative of it and for it.
We
So
have
like I said, there's
they made that day gets blown at that dispensary.
Because people that have addictions do need help, but they have to be willing to seek the help.
The
on
thing
their
is,
own.
marijuana is not addictive. It's not a gateway drug. It never has been. It's not a hardcore drug, and it's even safer than alcohol. And a lot of these people, you'll see them in the stores too. They'll be wheeling a whole cart of alcohol out if they had a really good day out on the corner, and it'll all be drank by morning.
But marijuana isn't the only drug.
The thing is
there's cocaine, there's meth, there's all these other drugs that are highly, heroin that are so much more addictive.
That's another part of the problem. Oregon, every single drug is now legal in Oregon. It doesn't matter whether it was meth or crack or cocaine. They're not allowed to arrest anybody with any drugs on them at all in Oregon anymore.
Okay, so we got totally off subject and we're ignoring our little blue pup, so we need to get back to some of the comments.
Well, read me a couple of questions here.
Okay, so Laura Bristol and Lala, I have no idea. They're just not willing to listen. They don't care about we the people who actually pay them their salaries. We gotta drain the swamp. There's no other alternative.
Well, let me answer that one. The only way you have to do it in your own state. We cannot any longer be expecting any kind of recognition whatsoever out of Washington. It's not going to happen. You have to go to your states. You have to city. Start pressuring the town hall or the city hall. Put the pressure there. The more pressure you put on them, the more pressure that city hall or town hall has to put on the county. The more pressure the county gets from all the different towns and cities, the more pressure that county has to put on the state. And you start spreading the word everywhere. Talk to your neighbors, talk to your church goers, talk to, have barbecues. Tell everybody, People need to really start researching exactly who it is that they're voting for. What have they done in their past? Everything. Decision based on that, not based on a party. Or they're right, or they're flying spaghetti. You make the decision that you get yourself from doing the research. And you need to do the same on every single bill that comes across your ballot for you to vote on.
Exactly, I agree because...
Don't just read that little pamphlet that they send out to you that kind of explains the bill. Go everywhere that you can, find any information out about that bill and look into it.
And don't believe what you see on television, any of the alphabet agencies, mainstream media news. Don't always believe what you read in your newspapers, because a lot of that is all propaganda. It's all, like Trump says, fake news. Okay, so let's see. Jen and Krista are loving the beautiful views.
Yep.
Lala wants to know if you have heard from X-Ray today. Did you hear how they trashed Oreo's car? Yes, we did hear about how
Yeah,
they
we heard
trashed
about
that.
Oreo's car.
It was horrible.
I have not talked to X-Ray yet today. I did watch his classes yesterday. He did really well. He always does. The man really knows what he's talking about when it comes to the survival first aid training stuff. He really knows what he's talking about.
Let's see. Lala said that X-Ray did stream his first aid class yesterday. Did you watch some of that?
Yep, I was watching. I was in and out of it. I was in and out, popping in and out.
Krista Graves says that meth is still a prescription drug, only allowed in very low dosage sleep disorders as a last option. That is true, but unfortunately, it's also a drug that's out highly abused.
Almost every drug out there now is highly abused.
True, even prescription drugs.
Even Tylenol.
Prescription medications.
Even Tylenol is highly abused.
Look at the opioid addiction. How bad that was.
It still
Fentanyl.
is. Well, you can blame one of the alphabet soup for fentanyl because they're the ones.
Yep. And all it takes is one teeny piece of fentanyl the size of a grain of sand, and it can kill someone.
Yep.
If they taint it, if it's mixed in with cocaine or whatever else.
I know on the video it looks like I'm really, really close to this truck in front of me, but I'm not. I was born in Detroit, Michigan.
Oh, I didn't know that about you. Interesting.
Yep, I was born in Detroit, Michigan.
Detroit.
Mount Sinai Hospital, Wayne County, Detroit. So, when it comes to talking to your reps, don't bother. They are not listening. If it does not have anything to do with putting money in their own pocket,
Goes in one ear and out
they
the other.
don't even bother. They don't even answer their own phones or their emails or their Twitter accounts or anything.
No, they have assistants
They have
for all
teams
that.
to do that for them, and those teams pick and choose what they're going to show to that representative, and that representative most likely is not even going to bother looking anyway, because they already have made up their mind whether this bill is going to put money in their pocket or not. Even if it's a very bad bill, if it's going to put money in their pocket, they're going to vote yes. That has been going on for over 40 years that I know of, and most likely even longer. So
Yeah, scratch my back, I'll scratch yours.
the biggest thing is every single person in this country should stand up in this primary, in this midterm session right now, and vote for anybody that has not been in yet, or vote for anybody that has not been in for at least 2 terms. There should not be one single person sitting in Congress or Senate today, or even in your state levels, that has been in for longer than 2 terms. There should not be one. We used to have a 2-term term limit on Congress and Senate. We used to. But Congress and Senate made up their own little bill that they could vote on themselves
Yep.
when they had the right president in place that said yes to it instead of vetoing it, and they got rid of the term limits. And it's the same thing when it comes to how much they get paid for doing their little service to the country, right? So who else in the world gets to decide their own pay? The Congress and the Senate can write up another little bill giving themselves a pay raise, and as long as they've got a president that won't veto it, they just made their own pay raise.
Ah, good for you, Lala E. Sanders. She said that voting is important. I went to a civic meeting and we stopped the display of LGBT in front of the library 2 weeks ago. We told them that this would affect their next term. We are voting 2 of them out. That's one thing that concerns me, is that stuff being in the libraries, especially like those story time kind of things with the children.
Right?
That indoctrination stuff. And virtual productions, and congrats, Lala. Thumbs up.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree more. Term limits are the only way to stop it from allowed to happen. This is our fault, so we were arrested.
Well, every single politician that is in Congress and Senate today, every single one of them has been in for more than 2 terms. Most of them have been in for anywhere from 30 to 50. Sorry, but somebody with an extremely insane, skewed view of the world that is completely out of touch with the American citizens in the first place, because they don't. They go out and they buy $200 a pint ice cream.
Well, look at Nancy Pelosi showing off her freezer.
Her freezer is bigger than my damn house.
$12 for a pint of ice cream, and she had how many pints in there? Every flavor you can imagine.
Yep.
And she's, oh, I love my ice cream.
And I guarantee you, every one of those is changed out every week, because if she doesn't eat it,
Probably
she
gets
won't eat it
tossed.
after a week, so it gets thrown out, and then a new one is brought in
Yeah.
to replace it. I guarantee it. stops closed down, and we're not opening.
I mean, I don't mind like those cup of noodles once in a while, but top ramen is a whole nother thing. Ooh.
Cup of noodles and a top ramen are the same noodle.
For some reason, cup of noodle tastes way better.
Depends on the flavor packet. It really does. But, you know, like,
Air.
you need air.
I need air. I need fresh air. It's alive.
She needs air so you guys don't get to hear. I don't have the windows up in the back open. That's part of the problem. day, like a siren. You know, when we were younger, if a serious incident happened at a school, it might have been on the news locally for a day, and then they would move on to other news. The media is literally glorifying this stuff to throw that fear in your face, to make you afraid, so that they can get you to turn around and vote how they want. They don't. You know, the super rich people, they want to have their guns, but they don't want us to. Excuse my language, pew-pews, I'm sorry. They want the right to have their pew-pews to protect themselves against us, but they don't want us to have them to protect ourselves against the criminal element in this country. You know, and they're also scared that if we have them, we will rise up against them and set this country back on the right side of things. Well, you know what? That's why the Second Amendment and the Constitution and Bill of Rights exist. Because they knew then. They just got done overthrowing a tyrannical government themselves. They knew that at some point we would have to go in and hit a reset. Right there in the Constitution. That's why they saw that we needed the Second Amendment. They saw that we needed to be allowed to for our protection, not for the government. Government needs to keep their hands out of the schools in the first place. The government decides what gets taught in a school. Well, gee, now they decide what history gets taught. They decide what science gets taught. They decide everything, right? So you have children out there now that have finally gotten out of high school and still do not know anything about World War II other than a lot of Jews died. They don't know how it started, what brought it to that point. They don't know all of the different countries that were affected or the world itself. They don't know anything other than a lot of Jews died. But they'll, you know, like somebody here that I know is just still in high school right now. They have not learned about the Civil War ever. They haven't learned about the 100-Year War between England and Spain. They haven't learned about the Alamo. They haven't learned about our independence. You know, they haven't learned anything. But they sure spent 6 months studying Martin Luther King. I'm sorry, Martin Luther King, he is important to history, yes. But he is not the only thing important to history. You can spend a week on Martin Luther King, then you can spend a week on Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Then you can spend a week on Winston Churchill. See, you don't have to spend 6 months on one person. How much can you really learn about one person over a course of 6 months that you can't learn in just a day or a week?
It's amazing our
better medically to a point. There's a period where the medical was doing great, but now that the agenda has a stranglehold on our medical in this country, you can expect to start seeing the average lifespan backwards again. We're going to start getting lives. You can expect my signal is in the yellow, so don't know how good it'll hold. But it is still a pretty drive.
It is a beautiful drive. I would not want to live out here. Because I still like trees and shade, flowers, green grass. I like nature, but like not this kind of nature.
You like to go out and hike in it for a day, but you don't want to live in it.
Right.
Yeah.
It feels barren to me. As beautiful as it is, it feels barren.
See, that's why I want to live in a cabin in the middle of a forest with no neighbors for 20 miles.
A forest is different though, because to me there's so much more life in a forest.
Right. And you can be completely self-sufficient.
Yes.
You don't need electricity. You don't need water bill. You don't need garbage bill. You don't need any of that. Because you can completely live off the land 100%.
Looks like West Texas is green. No, we're actually driving through. Tell them what portion of California we're driving through again.
This is the northeast corner of California on US 395. Nevada and Klamath Falls, Oregon. This is the route we are taking today. And sadly, we're not, my GPS says we're not going to go up past the monastery like I want to. We're going to go across it.
Oh,
Yep. That has a lot to do with the mileage. And with the fuel prices the way they are today, I
Yeah,
really
you-
can't afford to add extra
no,
mileage.
you have to go the shortest route, or we're going to wind up losing tons of money if you don't. You're already losing tons of money.
Look, I picked up a load the other day in Kansas City, Kansas. To go to Reno, Nevada area, right?
We'll see you in a little bit, Sylvia. Hope you have a great work meeting. Take care till you're back again. Sorry about that, Black Wolf. I interrupted you.
Yep.
Sylvia.
This load is supposed to pay me $4,000 to go from Kansas City, Kansas to Reno, Nevada. Well, by the time my insurance for the week and other costs plus the fuel that I had to use to get the load from point A to point B, by the time all was said and done, I ended up still owing $131 instead of being paid. So, in other words, right now, for everything. That means your toilet paper, your chemicals, your other little ingredients that make whatever it is, everything that is shipped on a truck right now, the truck driver is literally coming out of pocket to get it from point A to point B because they have lowered the freight rates to rock bottom and they have raised the fuel rates high enough now that we can't.
Not only that, what I've noticed too is not only are you having to pay for fuel when you're on the road, you're having to pay for meals, drinks, and that's coming out of your own private pocket as well.
Well, those meals and drinks, that's always going to be out of my own private pocket. The problem is, most truck drivers are stuck to only what's available at the truck stops. So you can walk in and you can buy paying between $6 and $7 depending on what state you're in
That same
for that
size.
same peanut butter at a truck stop, and they do that because they know that the trucker really can't go anywhere else.
Yeah, they have no choice. They jack the prices sky high at an airport.
Right.
This is all about profit, making money. You had a new gentleman or a new person that joined the chat, Jody Nichols. Kids should be trained to become one with their rifle to defend, on all capital letters, against tyrannical government and any standing armies against us. She says they're brilliant men. And virtual production is talking about fuel in Texas. Yesterday was 412, 415. Today it's 490, 429. So that's how much of an increase. 14, pretty much a 14-cent increase overnight.
I'm sorry, but the diesel fuel in Reno today when we filled up was $4.89.
No, 582.
Oh right, it was excuse me, no, it was $5.89. It was $5.89.9. Here, let's just say. They're $5.85.9, so it was today in Reno. And I put on 126 gallons, and my bill for filling my tank up from a little over half a tank to full was that's 126 gallons. Total bill $738.04. Yep. And realistically, if I had been on a full tank already, okay, so that was a little over half tank. To you, it would have been at least $1,200 to $1,300 to fill up the truck. And this run, this load is going a little over a total of like 770 miles. That would be an entire full tank, and that's like a day and a half drive at the most. But if I really pushed, I could get it all done in one day. To be able to do that, because the place I'm going to go to isn't even going to be open until tomorrow morning anyway, because they don't stay open 24 hours.
See how the terrain is changing?
So basically, I go through that kind of on average. So I'm depending on the load and the terrain and the distance and how much traffic, averaging a day in fuel right now.
Insanity. Okay. Since overnight, Lala Sanders, you're a smart woman. With the flying planes full with fuel that will bring costs down, cost to support them to send buildings to other countries. Virtual production says chaps flying high about the fuel cost and everything referring to that. Yes, they're using all these, they're filling up these planes and flying people around for free.
Well, it's not just that. You look at the global warming summit. The global warming summit here last week. They all showed up to their little meeting in the Geneva area with over 178 different jumbo jets. They all arrived in jumbo jets from all over the world, blowing fuel like mad, and they're there to discuss environment and global warming stuff, right? Does anybody even realize global warming and global freezing is natural? It's like a circulatory system of the planet. The more the polar ice caps melt, which means the start of the day until my dog gets whimpery and take him out for 10 minutes, and then I will continue driving some more. I usually don't have to stop, personally myself, until 11 or 12 hours down the road.
Turn right on US 395.
Men and women are designed differently.
Right. And you can't, right? Now, I know women that can camel too.
I'm not going to camel anything when I have chickens.
But I guess we're both going to get out. I'm going to make sure I'm good to go too. And I'm going to make sure my dog is good to go. So
Hey,
you guys be good. We'll leave you sitting here staring at good scenery, and you guys have some good conversation with each other. We'll be back in a few minutes.
Yes, Sid wants out. It's like, it's time, dude.
But it's not time. He's barking at another dog that he hears barking. Leave him in until we've done our business.
Okay. You're the boss. You're his owner, not me.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Y'all been good? I hope so.